Hello. Hi. It's me, Jack MW. That's my YouTube name. That's the name I put myself as. I'm debating whether or not I just get rid of the fact that I can see myself because I always get distracted. But I'm not going to because I like looking at my shirt. Maybe I should just close the balcony door because there's a lot of loud people whistling to each other. Actually, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'll be back. So I'm gonna pause it so there's no continuity errors. Hello, I'm back. I it feels too quiet now, but I can't like play the music I want to play because I don't know. I could probably just play like whatever I wanted, but I don't know. You grow up watching YouTube and you grow up with these like certain set of rules that you think you need to follow, but I guess like no one fucking cares at the end of the day, you know? I'm sure you don't. You being my reflection. Hello. Kisses. Self love, it's important, guys. I'm on day like really, I mean, I had the weekend, but it's like day 2 of my 2 week work break. And I don't know, I try to fill my time. I've still got my fucking flip phone. Uh, I'm just mm, trotting along, but I just don't know how much. I know I'm doing well. That's the thing. I'm like I'm doing considerably okay for someone my age, where I am. And fuck considerably okay. I'm doing great. I'm lucky. Uh, you know, I'm lucky, but I feel like I deserve some of this stuff. Not to delve too deep into my lore, which I don't know if you care about, but look who fucking does care. Look, the past was in the past, and I'm here right now. But I'm reaching that point of being out of school in 19, I guess, where like if I'm not working, I just want to see my friends. Like I'm not playing video games anymore, like ever. Playing a little bit of Stardew Valley on my computer. Or like I tried to play some stuff earlier today with some friends, but did not go according to plan, and that's all I'll say. And now I just kind of like sit and listen to my music, like listen to music and drink like a gangster, I suppose, which is not cool. Don't drink, guys, unless it's awesome or you want to. I don't know. I don't know why I'm recording this. I don't know. I feel like lost in the universe right now, and I feel like all the time whenever I make these videos, I'm just sitting here and I'm just kind of saying a lot of stuff all the time until I land on something to stick to. And I don't know how good of a method of engaging that is, but really at the end of the day, the more that I try to engage the quote unquote viewer, which I've had a couple, what can I say? The more I try to engage them, the less I want to do it, and the less it becomes about me. And look, it might be selfish to be thinking this is about me, this is all about me, but it's a YouTube channel where I talk about myself. Which I was playing with that. So it's a cap lid. Where I talk about myself and how I feel. So like that's what people are for. That's what people are coming for if they listen. There was a few of these like comments on this first video I made. I don't know if it was the first one or not, but I just decided to start doing it, and it was cool. I forgot about doing it for weeks, And then I came back to it, and there was all these nice comments, you know, and I just felt, you know, I don't know. I felt it was nice to feel recognized instead of just being the boy that persevered. You know, you've done so well. We're so proud of you. And it's like, I know, I know I've done well. Why wouldn't you be proud of me? Because I've done a lot. You know, I've done a lot. I'm here and I'm just lost because I'm just doing the few things that I can. And I've lost interest in the things that I loved, you know, except for music. It's the one thing that stayed. But it's just, I don't do the things I used to enjoy anymore. I don't want to walk around the city. You know, I lived in fucking fuck it. I lived in Leaderville, lived past tense. You know, and that was nice to walk around sometimes. It was really quiet on like a Monday or a Tuesday night, even though I was working. It was quiet, and but here it's just never quiet. It's just never quiet in the city, and I don't want to walk around. It's just more building, you know. So I don't walk anymore. I don't play games anymore. I tried to today, you know, I was playing I had a friend over last night and he was so infatuated. I was showing him how to play Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 5. Sponsored by the way. Kidding. Of course I'm kidding. Why the fuck would you believe me? Um and he was just so infatuated, you know, like he just thought it was the coolest shit ever. And I think I've just like fried my dopamine receptors to the things I enjoyed and I just need to find something new, you know. I collect records, if you didn't know. That's like my one hobby. And I like ordering them and I like buying them to listen to, you know. But I just, how long can I, you know, I buy like a record every 2 weeks if that, you know. Lately, times have been a little tough. So I don't really buy records that much lately. And I don't have another hobby. I play guitar, you know. I want to buy another guitar, but I don't even use the old electric I have. Like, let me show you. I bought this when I was 17 just because I could. But, you know, I'm a pause for continuity. This is my guitar. This is my Fender Stratocaster that I bought when I was 17. Because I was living alone, naturally. And all I wanted to do was just have something that I considered to be mine, you know. Other people bought me stuff, you know, in my life, you know, all my stuff that I had up until that point was, you know, bought for me or it was given to me, you know, because I was fucking broke and poor. And I saved up all my money for like a year. And I had a good amount of money and I just bought this. And in all honesty, I fucking like this guitar's nice and all. It's a gorgeous guitar, you know. Barely played. Honestly, I'd barely play it because like I just don't like this guitar. And that's just me. It's a great guitar. Like I don't even know, like $1,300 on it. Spent like $1,700 on my amp and shit, and I gave that away to my sister and gave her one of my good chords, my aux chords, and now I just got this Fender that I don't use sitting, you know, in a case underneath in a case underneath my bed, you know, it's just sitting there. And I don't play it. I try to, but other people play it more than me. They love when I have it here, you know, when I whip it out, you know, and they just they play it and they have fun. And usually people are a lot better at the guitar than me. But I just stick to my acoustic. I always have. Not because I don't want to start to learn. It's just that it's just I'm just scared to try something new, and I never ever really fucking played this. It's for as long as I've had it. For as long as I've had it, which is like over 2 years now, man. And I probably I can count probably the amount of times I've played it on like my two hands in 2 years, you know? And that's pretty, it feels like a waste of money because I never played it. And the amount of times I thought of selling it, but like, I remember I tried to sell it once. Wait. Um, the amount of times I've thought about selling it, and my mom just went, "No, you gotta keep it forever because this is like the thing you bought when you were 17. You'll regret it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." But what if I could get something that I care about more with the money I get from selling this? I chose this because it's like the guitar, you know? It's the guitar. It's a tritone fucking Fender Stratocaster. It's like the guitar. But I never use it. Maybe I should just start using it more. Anyway, pausing for continuity. I don't know why I say that every time. It doesn't really make sense. But I'm trapped. I feel trapped. I always feel trapped. I always feel trapped. Who isn't trapped though? Everyone's trapped in something. This always happens when I go on break. I'm a workaholic, some may say, because I just throw myself so heavy into work that I just love it, man. I love my job. I just don't want to be. That's the thing with work. You dread going there, but once you're there, it's fine. But for me, it's like I dread going there, and once I'm there, it's great. Like I just love my job, and I love the kids I work with, and the staff are lovely, and you know, gonna get school photos done. That'll be fun. I haven't done school photos since year 11, so uh, what's that? 17 probably. 17, 18. Oh, wait, yeah, 18, 19. No, when I turned, I turned 17 in year 12. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, about 2 years. I don't fucking know. I'm not great at math. That's a fact. Anyway, cheers. I feel like everything is better than it was, but now I don't have. But now I have time to think about it all. I feel worse. Does that make sense? Sorry, this isn't a record review, so I can't really you know palm it off to something different. But I'm just feeling a little lost at the moment. So it's just I don't know how to explain it. It's like everything is probably the best it's ever been and ever will be for a while. Well, it might get better, I don't know, but right now this is the best I've ever been in my life, and I've never felt more trapped in my own head. Like I've got like if you jump back to me 3 years ago, what's that, 16? I I was I was I was in between places to live. That's more 15 was that, but then when I landed 16, it was like staying with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and things were good for a time, live with my ex-girlfriend, ooh, sleep in the same bed together, ooh. But, you know, halfway through, or, late into the, what, March to October, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. No, because I went with her in December, so came back December and then late December. So December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 11 months I was with her. Uh, you know, you spend your first year of a relationship bouncing between houses with your family to where you can't even afford to give her anything for the 1 year anniversary. to living in a shed for 3 months and then living so far away from school you can't even go, to living with her for 11 months. You know, at first it was the best thing ever. It was amazing, but then it gets to that point where it's, I want to start to have friends. Oh, funny. Um, I want to start to have friends and hang out with my friends and be with them, but it got so overbearing. I couldn't go anywhere or do anything. It was just, I lived with her, and therefore, I did whatever she told me out of fear of being kicked out. And sure, this is part of me that thought, yes, there's no way. Oh, they'd never kick me out. There's no way. And I thought that up until very recently. Uh, Not very recently, probably like, you know, 8, 7, 8 months ago. I don't know. When I realized that, wow, I was really like teetering. Walking the line between, being able to stay there and not. Uh, and there's stuff I don't even want to talk about, but, anyway, I don't know how I got here. I think I just get sad and reminiscent of past times, even though past times are worse than present times. And that leads to me to get all fucking get away and weird. But I'm happy for the most part. I, you know, I've close friendships. I've extracurricular activities such as the band I'm in. Did I mention that? I have, but yeah, I'm in a band, guys. And we had a really good rehearsal today. But I that band wouldn't have come to fruition if it weren't for the friends I have and the friends I made. And I have a job that I love and a place to live forever, you know, for now anyway, until I decide otherwise, because, you know, that's the deal with this place. But, and sure, I pay rent and bills and internet and direct debits and everything. I pay for everything. No mum and dad to walk me through, you know. They try their best. They did anyway. They always have tried their best. But, life doesn't work out that way sometimes. I don't get people that don't like their parents. I get well maybe that's a bad judgment. I think I have great parents. I love them so much. To a consuming it got to a I love them so much that I didn't have a personality because of how much I cared about my parents, especially my dad. But that's a whole can of worms. But I try I just try to my best, and I love everyone the most I can. Anyway, what was I talking about? The main point of this is that I'm lost. And, I feel like I don't, you know, I lost my phone. Like, I can't just, like, bed rot and doom scroll all day. You know, I kind of have to face the music now, and it's really hard. Hit my ankle, ow. But it's really hard because I'm just like, I don't get to disassociate and not think about it anymore. Because all I can do is think about it. Because that's all my brain wants to do when I don't have anything else to, like, distract it. So I'm just sitting here thinking, wow, things are great. Why are you sad? Like, I'm not, like, my mom has, like, clinical depression, like, she wouldn't leave the bed for weeks, you know, and my dad's fucking nuts and an alcoholic, and, they, Not anymore. I mean, he's fallen off and on the wagon, but the fact he keeps getting back on is enough for me. I don't know, man. Big smile. I'm trying my best, and that is all I can do. And I can't tell myself that without looking at myself. I'm just doing my best. That's all I can do. And that's all I have to do, because that's all everything. That's all that anyone expects of me. I would hope anyway. Because who the fuck's expecting you to do better than your best? Someone with very unrealistic standards. I miss my sister. I just don't have anyone that I can kind of confide in wholeheartedly. And I love my mom to death, but she's not the most easy person to reach because of how far away she is, and you know, my dad's always was what used to be always calling me, and now he's got a house and money. He doesn't call me anymore unless I call him. Like he tries, I think. I think he tries. I don't know. He invited me to go away with him today after I called him a couple times, but somewhere that I don't want to go with just I just feel like I'm going to be more of a tool than wanted. And maybe that's just me, and I'm a silly guy. But I don't know. I just didn't. I just don't want to go. I don't want to go, so I'm not going to. And you know, he doesn't even visit me anymore. And he lives up the road. He could walk here, or he could walk here. Most people would just do anything else but that. But he would walk here. He could walk here. He had walked here, and now it's he's found his little spot, his little hole in the wall nook and cranny place to be, and he doesn't need me anymore because he used to be homeless and I'd have the house, so he'd always want to be around, So he'd come to my old apartment and he would live there for fucking as long as he fucking could before I couldn't have him there anymore, and then go away and come back, and just keep going away and come back, and now he's got his place. I barely see him, unless mum's in town. I love my family so much. I think that calls for another cider. I've been missing school a little bit too. I don't know why. I hated it for the most part. Loved a lot of it. Like, everything else around. The fact that people fucking hated me for some reason because I was weird. ADHD, hyperactive, just being like, no, but you do this and you do that and you do, and oh my god, we're having so much fun. Everything's great, and I love you guys, and I just really hope that you guys like me too. But they wouldn't reciprocate. But I keep going. Unmedicated Jack Ward, you know? Just unmedicated Jack Ward was. He was probably happy. I don't know. He was a lot more unaware of the fact that people didn't like him. And I tried my best. There's a few people at school that, yeah, they have the right to hate me. I wasn't the nicest to them, not because I did any, not because I was in a position to be mean to them. It was mainly just I would take an opportunity to get some acknowledgement or some attention, I suppose, and I would take it, and it wasn't always the nicest thing. And I regret my actions there. But I was a kid, going through a lot of stuff. Parents were separated, my parents were together all the way up until like year 9 or 8 or whatever, I don't know. And then they weren't anymore. And now, oh god, I dread the idea of them ever getting back together, bro. Oh, would be the worst. They suck, but they're the best. They're the best individually. They suck together. Well, they love each other so much. That's the thing. My parents, I've got a weird dynamic where my parents are separated, but they love each other so much. They're like best friends, but like, mum's adamant on dad not getting back together, and dad's adamant on wanting that again. And I just played this ping pong. My school psychologist fucking must have been through the ring. I'm like, Mom and Dad might get back together, and she's like, uh huh, yeah. And I'm like, they're not gonna get back together. And she's like, uh huh. And then I stopped giving a fuck and started talking about myself, even though I wasn't talking about myself. It was always about other people. And now it's all about myself, and I feel like the fucking devil. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know what this was. I think I just needed a vent. A little vent. You know how it is. Just a wee vent. I don't want this to hit 30 minutes, so I'm going to try and cut this short. But, look, even though I'm so confused and lost at the moment, I know that I won't feel like this forever. Because there's got to come a time where there has to come a time where I'm not relying on other people to drive my life. Well, not that. Not relying on other people to be like, in pinball, and you shoot the ball up and it comes down, you do the bumpers. The little red things that bounce them, those are the people in my life, And one day they're gonna be gone, and I'm gonna be fucking sitting there hitting them with the fucking because there'll be no bumpers to keep the ball up. And that's okay. There might be one or two, and that's all I have to aim for. But right now, there's a lot of bumpers and they're not doing their job. And not that they have to. I don't know. I feel like I keep contradicting myself. That's my biggest issue. I make a statement and then I contradict it, and then I sit here talking about it forever. So I'll leave you, the viewer, with this. You, I, ugh, I am sad, and I am scared, and I am lost. And I'm sure so are you, or you have been, or you might be. But it doesn't last. Even the overarching feeling might last for a fucking a while, but this feeling, the way I'm feeling right now, I won't feel it tomorrow. Not as heavy, not as hard. And neither will you if you are feeling this way. So I hope that tomorrow's a better day for you. Because I know that if tomorrow's a better day, then, it makes these moments a lot easier to deal with. Because if tomorrow's a better day, then that's something to focus on. But yeah, I hope that you're having a good day or a good night. And I will do another existential crisis video soon, probably. But I will try and do a record review as well. I ordered my Danger Days record. It's on its way. So yeah. Anyway, good night and goodbye.